Renato Moicano says Jiu-Jitsu belts mean nothing in MMA in response to Alex Pereira getting his black belt at UFC 300. Alex Pereira didn't just keep hold of his light heavyweight title at UFC 300, he gained another one to wrap around his waist. Poatan was awarded his black belt in Jiu-Jitsu after stopping Jamahal Hill in the first round with no grappling required. Whether he should have earned such an accomplishment despite winning the fight with his striking has been a topic of debate amongst the grappling fans since April 13. In an interview with Demetrious Johnson on the MightyCast, BJJ black belt Renato Moicano said that ultimately, a jiu-jitsu belt shouldn't be relevant to MMA full stop. Brother, let me tell you something, I don't think a black belt means nothing in MMA. Demetrious Johnson, you're doing jiu-jitsu right. So it's a completely different sport, right? It's a completely different sport, I don't think even makes sense. Maybe the coaches, they are giving black belts just so people can say, ah, he is my student, you know, but it's a different sport. I don't think you should get a black belt if you only fight MMA, you should train in jiu-jitsu. But at the end of the day, belts doesn't matter. What matters is winning, and Alex Pereira is doing great. He's proving everybody wrong, including me, because for me, when he got in the UFC, I thought okay, he's a good striker, but as soon as somebody take him down, the fight is going to end. Muhammad Moicano wants Steve Erceg to become the flyweight champion at UFC 301. An impressive performance against Alex Perez would have seemingly pushed Muhammad Moicano into flyweight title contention. However, because he ended up grinding out a tough decision win, Steve Erceg was given the opportunity to face off with the champion Alexander Pantoja at UFC 301 instead. Whilst Moicano made it very clear that he was frustrated to have been overlooked for the title shot, he is rooting for the challenger this Saturday night. The Punisher posted an image on social media of Erceg wearing a Best Buy uniform, announcing that he is backing him to get the win in Rio de Janeiro. He also broke down the matchup in a following post, saying that despite Pantoja's toughness and grappling prowess, he doesn't see him as a dominant champion. Robert Whittaker isn't worried about the wrestling of Khamzat Chimaev. On June 22 in Saudi Arabia, the biggest question hanging over Robert Whittaker's chances of victory is whether he can deal with the wrestling of Khamzat Chimaev. Bors is a very dominant grappler, but the former middleweight champion believes that he can hold his own in this area. He told ESPN Australia that his key to winning this fight is not to necessarily try and beat his opponent at his own game, but also to not be afraid to meet him there if needed. Whittaker is confident in his skills and track record, believing that he can best Chimaev in this field on his way to securing the win. The surest way to victory is to go in there and obviously not play to his strengths, which is not engaging in the wrestling, but not be afraid of it, Whittaker continued. I can wrestle with the best of them, and I've shown and proved that. Whilst I definitely think he's very dangerous there, I've been grappling my entire life. I'm very, very confident in my own skill sets. Even if it were a pure wrestling, jiu-jitsu format, I would hold my own, if not get the W in that way too.